is up, y'all? And welcome back to episode 9 of That's No Moon Pod. Today's episode, I really wanted to talk about the series premiere of The Last of Us. Fresh off of just watching that last night. Kind of wanted to give my thoughts and my review over the first episode so far. And also, I'm recording this on Monday night, and they just dropped the new Mandalorian Season 3 trailer during the Cowboy game. And I also have some thoughts on that. I guess I'll talk a little bit about last week's episode of The Bad Batch, episode 3. I'll probably give my quick little review of that at the end of this video. But I really just wanted to talk about The Last of Us. That's kind of all I've been thinking about today. I'll be honest, I never played any of the video games. Last of Us 1 or 2. I never had a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 or whatever. I've always kind of been an Xbox guy. But, I mean, if you play video games, you know what The Last of Us is, and you know the kind of, fan base it has, and just the mythicism of it. Without even playing it, you know how good it is and how good the storytelling is within the video game. So, whenever they had said that they're making a series out of it and that it was going to be on HBO, they got Pedro Pascal to be Joel. Things were looking pretty good, I think it got a lot of people excited. There was some good buzz leading up to it, and for me, it definitely did not disappoint. It starts off, in the 60s. Spoilers, by the way. Full spoilers if you haven't seen it yet. But, I mean, if you play the video game, then you pretty much know what's coming. But for me, like I said, I never played any of the games, so I'm going in fresh as can be, pretty much like it's a brand new TV show, pretty much, just with the already built-in fan base around it. But anyways, they get into it with, these scientists talking about possible viruses that could be happening within our world. Kind of just telling this talk show host some potential consequences if a certain virus or fungus leaked out or somehow came into contact with humans and what it could possibly do. Then it jumps over to 2003, and we're following Pedro Pascal's character, Joel, and his daughter, and you really get to kind of see their bond right before, things really go haywire. And the actress playing Joel's daughter did an amazing job. I really felt their bond and their connection as father and daughter. You could tell they really had each other's backs and really kind of understood each other for who they were. and it's really cool kind of seeing her perspective, kind of there's some weird things going on. It's Joel's birthday, so she tries to get one of his watches fixed after school, and you kind of see these military helicopters and SWAT teams kind of buzzing around the city for no reason, and everything's kind of looking like it could get a little messy. And she kind of gets kicked out of the watch repair shop that she goes to after school kind of suddenly, and she's like just wondering kind of, is there something going on, but not really paying too much thought to it. Then she ends up going to one of her neighbor's house, and this is probably one of my favorite scenes, where she goes to her neighbor's house to go bake some cookies while her dad Joel's at work. And there's like this older lady there who's deaf, and she's kind of being taken care of by these neighbors. And while her friend is in the kitchen with the cookies, Joel's daughter, she's just looking through these DVDs on the bookshelf, and it's not even in focus, but you could see the older lady, the deaf old lady in the background behind her, and she's not in focus at all, but you could just kind of see like her twitching and kind of just making like these weird zombie-like faces behind her, and it just gives you like the creeps just kind of seeing that behind her without her even realizing it. And the dog is acting weird, and but no one notices a thing until later on, to where we fast forward a little bit till when Joel gets off work and it's his birthday, and they decide to chill out, watch a movie, and then while they're hanging out, they kind of, I guess she falls asleep, and Joel gets a phone call from his brother, I believe, and he's got to go bail him out of jail. So he dips and leaves his daughter there by herself at night, and she gets woken up by the whole, military helicopters flying around, and just a bunch of chaos going outside, and she's looking for her dad, and she doesn't know where he's at. And so she goes outside and sees the dog from her neighbor's house, and the dog's all freaking out, and she sees their neighbor's doors open, so she walks in, terrified. She don't know what to expect. And as she walks in, she sees like the blood on the floor, and you just know something's about to go down. Her friends are there, and that old lady is gone completely zombie mode at this point, and is just, eating away at these, poor people in their house. And from there on out, the show just, for me, it just kept going nonstop, the pace. Just seeing whenever Joel finally comes back, and they rescue her, and they're with his brother, and they're in their truck, and they're zooming through Austin, which is cool to see, because I live not too far away from Austin, and it's kind of cool to see the perspective of the city and in the show take place. And what I kind of noticed from the show, just the way it's kind of shot in a way that a video game cutscene would kind of be shot in a way, but just done on the, transferred over to to a television show. You see burning buildings, all the people running around, all the vehicles trying to get out of the city, military helicopters and airplanes flying around. And yeah, like I said, I never played the game, so I didn't know anything that's coming. I didn't know what to expect from the next scene on. So whenever we finally get to the point to where, they're trying to get out of the city, and, they just keep running into some type of roadblock each way, people in the streets. Then finally, they're on the street, and you just see like airplanes flying, and you just see one airplane flying way too low with a bunch of probably infected humans and got taken over, and then the airplane just crashes on the street that they're in. And again, it just feels just like a video game, just the way the pacing was going on and like the interactions with the surroundings. And man, so they're trying to get away. She ends up hurting her ankle, and Joel is forced to carry her, trying to get away. And then that's whenever the military soldier sees them, and he's pointing his rifle at them, and he's calling for orders, asking what to do. And Joel's saying, like, don't shoot, we're not sick. And the soldier just fires on them anyways. And you're like, oh gosh. So they roll down the hill, and you see that Joel's okay. And then once the soldier meets them down on the hill, he looks like he's about to finish him off, but then Joel's brother comes in and blasts him. And then as soon as you see that he's okay, and they haven't shown his daughter yet, you just know, like, oh gosh, like something's not right. And then sure enough, she got hit, and it's pretty bad, and you could kind of just tell like what's about to happen from there on. So yeah, like I said, from the video game, I never heard anything about his actual daughter. I knew that Ellie or whatever wasn't his daughter, so I kind of figured something had to happen to Joel's actual daughter. I just didn't know it was gonna be like that, or be that quick, at least. But they did a great job with that scene. They both, they're great actors, and you could just tell like I said, from the chemistry that they had. It was believable. It was heartbreaking to see. Can't even imagine what that would be like in that situation. And then from that point on, I was like, okay, this show's got me, I'm hooked right now. I'm in. And the episode was an hour and a half long, but honestly, it did not feel like that to me, at least. I never caught myself checking to see, how much longer was left of the show or anything like that. It just kind of kept going, kept rolling on, and, I was invested the whole time. Especially even whenever they get to Boston, and you kind of see Joel and like what he's going through 20 years later after his daughter dies, and the infection has kind of just run rampant and taken over the entire world. You see Joel, he's slinging freaking pills to cops. He's, taking these nasty jobs, dirty jobs, throwing bodies in fire pits, and just kind of scrapping to get by with his new wife. and she's getting into trouble. He's trying to figure out a way to get in contact with his brother that he hasn't heard from in a few weeks. So, he's going through the motions on trying to figure out what exactly is going on with that. And you finally get to see Ellie. She's all chained up, held hostage under certain circumstances that you're not too sure about yet. Obviously, they have her hostage for a reason, but it doesn't look like they were trying to do any harm to her necessarily. It was just kind of keeping her there, making sure she didn't escape somehow. And then, like I said, Joel is trying to find his brother or come into contact with them. So they're trying to figure out a way to get out of the quarantine zone. They're trying to get a battery for a truck so they could go and try to find him somewhere, wherever he's at. And through all this, they go through different situations that lead them up to the point where we finally get to see Joel and Ellie finally meet, and why they have to meet, and why they have to end up go on this mission together reluctantly. And so, from there on out, the show kind of starts to, really let you know, like, okay, this is where we're going from here. And then it was cool to see once they finally got to link up. You get to kind of see who Joel is as a person even more, but you still see that same guy from who he was at the beginning of the show, to where, they're trying to escape the quarantine zone, and then they run into the cop, and the cop's trying to stop them. He's testing them to make sure that they're not infected, and once he gets to Ellie, right before you see what color, red or green, if she's infected or not, boom, she freaking stabs homeboy with the knife, and he's getting ready to do something, but Joel's, father instincts kick in, remembers his daughter, and he just freaking goes straight, Matt Reeves Batman on this cop, and just bashes his face in with his fists. And you pan over, and then they pick up the tester, and you see that turn red for Ellie. So she's infected, but she says it's been weeks and she hasn't had any symptoms. So I guess that kind of just shows why she was being held hostage, and led to believe that she's this important person for this important mission, and why she needs to be with Joel. So the bigger picture for her is, I guess she might possibly be the cure for some of this, or she could be of some help to the world if, she's able to withstand the virus without being infected for so long. And that's kind of where the episode ends. From there, they escape, episode ends, and I was just laying there just thinking, like, that's how you do a freaking video game adaptation to live action. Like, that's just how you do it right there. And again, I'm going to keep saying this, I never played the game, but you could just tell from the integrity, the acting, just the consistent storytelling that you always usually get from a really good video game that people love. But for whatever reason, the producers, writers, whatever, just feel the need to change certain things, and in the TV show or the movie from, adapting it from the video game, whenever the video game is literally perfect as it is. You don't got to change a whole lot. You obviously do have to change certain things to make it work for television, but story point wise, you don't got to go and rewrite the whole book. Just stick to what works and stick to what people already know and love in the first place from these video game stories, and then just put all the pieces together on the TV screen. You don't gotta, like I said, you don't gotta rewrite the whole book or rewrite the whole story. It's already there for you, and it looks like they're gonna be doing a good job with this show, and kind of doing it justice, because this game for sure has a lot of loyal fans, and I think it for sure won over some brand new fans who never even knew it was a video game, but heard that Pedro Pascal's in a new HBO show. It's got zombies in it. Pedro Pascal is one of the hottest working actors in the business right now. I'll talk about the Mandalorian trailer in a little bit once I'm done wrapping this up. But, I mean, Pedro Pascal's on fire right now. And, he's killing this role so far. And I can't wait to see where it goes, because I don't know what's coming next. A lot of people do, but I don't. I'm not going to be looking up cutscenes or looking up anything now from this show or from this video game, because I don't want to get it ruined for me. I'm just going to go along with the ride and see where it takes me. And because I'm hooked. I'm in. Can't wait for episode 2. Glad there's another good TV show to look forward to again. But yeah, let me know what y'all thought of episode 1 of The Last of Us. I really dug it. Can't wait for episode 2. And yeah, I guess I got all my main talking points out of that. But again, to kind of harp on what I was saying with the whole adaptation from video game to TV or movies, is just like, I've heard people say it's like Harry Potter, right? It was books. Millions of people had read those books before the movies even came out, but they stuck to the books once they made the movies, and the movies were even a bigger hit than the books, and they stuck to what was already written beforehand. They didn't go in and change a whole bunch of stuff to adapt it to the big screen or nothing. They just took from what worked in the books and applied it to the movies, and the fans respected it. I'm sure they changed certain things, but for the most part it works. And the reason it works is because they stuck to the book and the material that was already there. Lord of the Rings has been around forever. The Hobbit. I mean, you can say what you want about the Hobbit movies, but the Lord of the Rings trilogy, for the most part, story-wise, stuck to what made the books great. Peter Jackson killed it, applied it to the movies, and it was a huge success. And those movies are, amazing. But again, they stuck to what worked in the books. Halo, Uncharted, Max Payne, Hitman, even that newer Mortal Kombat movie wasn't, it was cool, but, Assassin's Creed, you could go on and on with all these failed attempts of video games turned into movies or TV shows, and it's just like these people that are in charge of show running the whole thing just are just trying to be too cute and do too much with the story, acting like, oh well, people know what's already happening in the video game, so we gotta switch it up for TV or movies because people already know what's gonna happen. But it's like, no, dude, like that's not how you do it. Like, people don't care about that. People want to see these video games come to life even more while watching it on TV or in the movie theater. You know, Game of Thrones, that's another one. The books, it's like the TV show stuck to the books for the most part, or at least the ones that were written already, and it was amazing. A lot of people knew what was going to happen already, but the show was still, one of the best shows ever. So I hope in the future, different production companies kind of learn from the response that The Last of Us has gotten so far and kind of aren't afraid to stick to what's already been written and just applying that to their future projects when it comes to these video games and books or whatever have it, Yeah, so the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer dropped tonight. I believe this is the second official trailer that they dropped. And man, dude, I don't know what it is about. Well, obviously I know what it is. It's Star Wars, but there's just something about when I watch a Star Wars trailer for, whether it be a brand new movie or a TV show, there's just something magical about it. For whenever I watch it for the first time, when you see these characters that you know and love, and then the music starts to hit, and then you just see the different types of dialogue you get in between each cutscene of the trailer, and it just takes me back to when, I was a little kid and just watching Star Wars all the time, and it gets me emotional a lot. I could just feel it like swelling up whenever I watch it, just because I know how, when done right, these Star Wars stories just make me feel, they just make me feel good, and this trailer no doubt delivered. Got to see a lot of Grogu. They're really pushing the Grogu in this trailer. Get some cool visuals of Grogu and Mandalorian and the ship going on the missions. He says he's got to go right his wrongs and go to Mandalore. Got a lot of visuals of all the different types of Mandalorians, which is cool. I wonder what's gonna happen, dude, because I don't know how they're gonna top season 2, but they seem to always do that, and they always give us some good surprises in this show so far. One of the biggest takeaways that I've seen from that trailer was for sure that quick flashback of Grogu in the Jedi Temple, and you see that quick Order 66 flashback. You see the Jedi kind of protecting him, and you see the door kind of getting cut up, and you're wondering, are we finally going to see who saves Grogu from the Jedi Temple and how he escapes and gets into the hands of those Camino clone doctors or whatever. I'm wondering if we're gonna see possibly Hayden Christensen pop up in that flashback scene, because it looks like it might be him that's about to freaking blast through that door and just annihilate all those Jedi protecting Grogu. Could be wrong. I've been trying to think about who I think could possibly be the one to save Grogu from there. Obviously, you know, I don't think it could be. Definitely can't be Ahsoka, because she be fighting Darth Maul in that time. I don't think it could be Yoda. Yoda's off doing some stuff on Camino, I believe, at this time. Obi-Wan, definitely not. Mace Windu just got yeeted out of the tower from Palpatine. So, I mean, I don't know how Grogu gets out of there, but I'm hoping finally we get to find out exactly how he does. But yeah, the trailer was awesome. Got me super hyped. I was already hyped for it, but I mean, can never get too much hype for The Mandalorian. March 1st can't come soon enough, that's for sure. Yeah, like I said, Pedro Pascal's on fire. He's gonna have a hell of a year. It was cool to see Grogu force push that weird beast looking creature at the end of the trailer too. You could kind of see Grogu he's feeling himself a little bit now, you know. He's got a little bit of that Luke Skywalker treatment, and yeah, it was cool to see him force push that beast out of the way, like, pretty hard too. So it was like, and it didn't look like he was getting sleepy or drained out after doing that too. So it looks like he's got a little bit more of his control over his powers finally, which is cool to see. No Bo-Katan though, which kind of threw me off. I thought maybe we get a little glimpse of Bo-Katan, maybe see what kind of her little mindset of what's going on during the show, but they kept that under wraps for some reason. So curious to see why they're kind of keeping her a little bit of a mystery. Want to see what happens with the Darksaber. Maybe we get a little bit of Darth Maul reference from Mandalore, possibly. Yeah, I don't know. I just think they're gonna go all out with this season. Kind of help set up Ahsoka later on this year as well. But I'm excited. I can't wait for the show to come out. And yeah, I guess I'll give my quick review as well on episode 3 of The Bad Batch. This was by far, so far, the best episode of the season. Get to see Commander Cody finally. Him and Crosshair going on a mission together, help rescue this captured. I don't know if he's a general or something, but they gotta go on a rescue mission. And it's cool to see all the old school kind of droids, from the prequels in this episode. Didn't really expect that, but it was nice to see them find the clones again, and Crosshair just being a badass, hitting crazy shots and just being ruthless. And you get to kind of see the dynamic between him and Cody, and how, you know, just kind of what the clones are going through at this time, and how they're conflicted with the chip in their brain, and they're not really, you know, Cody's a good guy, and, you know, he wants to follow orders, but he knows sometimes of what they want him to do isn't right. And Cody's just that loyal soldier, but he's not going to do something crazy that he knows is wrong. But Crosshair, on the other hand, still has that savage in him, and good soldiers follow orders in his eyes, so that's what he's going to keep doing. But I think they're setting some stuff up for Crosshair for sure. And at the end of the episode, you see Cody's gone, so he takes off. Don't know if we're going to see him again in the show, but I hope we do. But I mean, we kind of know exactly where the path he follows a little bit, or at least kind of where he ends up. But yeah, the Bad Batch is cool. Hopefully we get some more crazy episodes coming up. Kind of set up a little bit more different things with them. And yeah, that's pretty much what I really wanted to talk about in this episode. A lot of cool stuff though. Things are starting to heat up. 2023. It's only going to keep getting crazier. This year's got so much fire coming out from all different angles, from Marvel, from DC, from Star Wars, from video games. Just everything is just going to really start heating up as the year goes on. I can't wait. And yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. Follow me on Instagram at admiremymoonsault. I be posting at least one comic book every day on there with variant covers. So if you're into comic books, or if you want to get into comic books but don't really know where to start from some, like I said, I post a variant cover and also post screenshots of certain pages throughout the comic, and they're all, for the most part, new releases, whatever drops every week. The ones that I'm most interested in, I read them, screenshot them, post them. So, if you like comic books or want to start getting into comic books but don't really know which one to jump into first, follow me on Instagram at admiremymoonsault. I really want to start live streaming some video games here pretty soon. Just recently got the new Xbox and a 4K TV, so I've just been playing a lot of video games lately as well, so be on the lookout for that. Possible live streams coming up in the future. And yeah, if you like this video, please like it, subscribe. Come back for episode 10. I don't know what I'm gonna be talking about, but hopefully you join me for this ride, for this journey. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you have a good day or night wherever you are. Y'all stay safe, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Peace.